I'm about to put that. All right. We're good? Yep. All right. Huh? Yeah, we can shut it so now everybody out there can hear that. How is everybody? Fantastic. Are you saying anything or you want me to just go?
Go for it.
Okay. Hey, yeah, you come in. You come into the town hall? Oh, good for you. Come sit down. Good for you. That's even better. What's the Eagle Scout? I mean, what do you got to do for the Eagle Scout? Just
So I have to get my merit badge right now. So,
in what?
citizenship in the community.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. We'll see if we can figure out how to get you that then. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today again. We have an Eagle Scout here working on that, I guess. What other projects do you need to do? We got projects we could do in the city.
So I finished my Eagle project. So I just need this merit badge
Oh.
and then.
And two other, oh, good for you. Good for you. I'm going to just give you some updates here. And when we do questions, Ryan's going to run around to you guys, I guess, and have you talking to that since we're recording it and whatnot on here. I'm just going to give you a couple updates. I think, I have to look. That's why I had to write it down because I couldn't remember the date. Coming up on August 21st, from 2 to 8 p.m., there's going to be a workshop open house down at the River House for the downtown revitalization plan that we're updating. So we want everybody's input and opinions on some of that as well. And it's going to be just for a specific area in the city for that. There's going to be a postcard, I think, right, Dana, that you're putting out that's going to get mailed out to all the citizens of Star. We're going to try to get as many people as we can. And you'll see it on social media. So I encourage you all to show up for that and help out with the downtown. We have a plan that was from 2011, but things have changed so much since then that we need to update that big time. What was the other, one other thing? Yeah, I'll think about it here as we go on that. We'll just turn it over to you guys real quick. I just want to make sure that was out there so you understood that and you can get it out to everybody. And then we'll have you ask questions. Do you have anything for police side to report?
Police is doing well right now. Just
Yeah.
chugging along. Freedom Park has swimmer's itch. So it's
You guys know what swimmer's itch is. Swimmer's itch is not a deadly thing. You know, none of that. What? You don't want, swimmer's itch has been a blessing in a way because it slowed down people coming over there, which is fine. However, we just need to make sure people understand that swimmer's itch is not a deadly thing, right? It's an allergic reaction that some people have when the parasite gets in them from duck and geese poop and snails, right? And so we are going to put a shower station down there for people if they want to shower and whatnot. Not taking a shower, just washing off, you know, at that point. If after they swim. So you see a lot of people that swim. We see people reading the sign, just jumping in the water anyway. So some people it impacts, some it doesn't. So it's not too bad.
yeah. Besides that, everything's going well. Obviously, code enforcement is rolled out completely. So Cameron's running around doing our code enforcement stuff on his end. Still working with the city on getting all of that figured out as far as exactly what he's going to handle. But code enforcement is up and running here in Star. Outside of that, our pop team's chugging along. Luna's gotten a couple good hits the last couple weeks. Yeah, besides that, I know our SRO is getting ready for school to get started. He's going to a bunch of refresher training and jumping into a bunch of new things that are going on with West Ada School District and kind of some problems that they may see coming out or just normal problems throughout the year. So he's getting squared away. And we are opening up, I think we have one deputy position that just closed because we're losing one. And then outside of that, yeah, we have a new sergeant position that one of our sergeants got promoted down to one of the main CID spots. So another sergeant position opened up and that is currently open. So for internal.
CID for people that don't know.
That's our detective unit. So that's any of our detective units. So yeah, Star's unfortunately, we keep losing people, but it's all because of promotions. So that's a good thing. So Star's a really good place where people are coming and growing and moving on with their career. So, yeah.
And we are, so we have this new Star Elementary School that we did a groundbreaking on. They've been working on it for a little bit, not a little bit, probably a month over there. We are adding another SRO to handle our 2 elementary schools. And then we have the one at the middle school. So that'll be coming up soon too, just so you guys are aware. All right, Chief.
Fire department, the new station is just about done. We're just lacking a sign. We'll hopefully get that up in the next few weeks. The station will not be staffed, and I apologize if anybody is offended by the sign, but I'll tell you the reason that I put the sign there. The sign is to make sure that people don't stop there, because we get a lot of walk-in medical calls where people walk in having chest pain, choking, so on and so forth. And I want to make sure that people understand that there is nobody at that fire station, because we are still unable to staff it. We don't have the funding. And so the sign is exactly what the problem is. There's nobody there. Please call 911. It is not staffed due to lack of funding. It's not meant to be offensive. I have the signs also on the doors. If somebody doesn't read the sign, they run up to the door because they're having a medical issue. Hopefully they have enough in them to be able to read the sign to call 911, because there is nobody there. The reason that we don't have the funding, if you've been here long enough, probably know that we have asked for a levy increase 3 times now. It'll be back on the ballot in November. So far, the fire district, due to property tax reduction that happened in 2021, we've lost $2.54 million of revenue. So we are unable to hire the people. To hire enough people to staff that station takes about $1.7 million. And we're asking for a $2.25 million levy increase to try to make up what we have lost from property tax reduction. We just have no ability to build budget authority anymore. We're still working with the legislature, trying to come up with the solutions. So far, we're unsuccessful. They obviously don't go back into session until January, but we're working in the background trying to figure out other solutions. We're unsuccessful with that so far. Why the station was built is we had collected impact fees from all the builders that have built here for the last, we've been collecting them since 2018. We had the money. You have to spend that money within a certain amount of time. That money has to be spent within 8 years. We decided that based on what we see with building construction costs, that we would go ahead and build the building while the prices were where they are today, because I don't know what they're going to be next year or the following year, or whenever we can find permanent funding to be able to staff that station. We will still respond to everybody's calls. It's not that we can't respond. We're going to respond. We just won't be responding from that location. And our response times, due to the growth that we've had, have reduced every year. We're to get from the current fire station down where the police station is, across from Albertsons, to get to that side of town, depending on time of day, it can take us up to 9 minutes. And what we do is try to respond to the calls within 5 minutes or less. So we're unable to do that on that side of the town right now and farther north. Once that station does get staffed, we will be able to respond to a lot more area in that 5-minute response time. And I think most of you folks have been in here before, but if you haven't, please ask questions. Don't really have any other updates right now. I mean, we're still operating. Call volume is still increasing every year, but we're still responding to all the calls. Yes, sir.
Hang on one sec. We're going to put it on the microphone here.
Have you done any research on the community as to why people are voting no on that every year?
I think it's from from the public information meetings we have had 24 public information meetings. And we get less people than this to actually come. I don't know how to get the information out to come to a public information meeting. I can tell you that everybody that has came to those meetings, to answer your question, is where they came from. Taxes are collected differently. And so when the amount we started with was around $60 per 100,000, where a lot of folks came from, that $60 never changes, stays there forever. We live in a state that does what they call an ad valorem tax, where that continues to go down. So as it goes down every year, we're down in November, I think it's $37.76, and it started around $60. So it continues to go down, and they don't understand that. The other thing that they don't understand is where they had came from. It was a fire department, and a fire district is different than a fire department. A fire district is its own taxing authority. We are not connected to the city. We are partners with the city. We do a lot of things with the city, but you can't just get the mayor and the city council to approve to give us money. It doesn't work that way. Those are the two main things. The third is there are so many houses being built, your budget should be going through the roof. And those folks aren't wrong. It should be. But when they cap us at 8% and we're growing at 20%, the difference between 8% and 20% reduces your property taxes. That's the property tax reduction bill.
Is there anything you can do at a state level to increase that percentage? I think there was a bill passed a couple years ago, wasn't there, that limited it? Is there any way we can reverse that?
Yes, we need all your help to help the legislature to make that change. They're not interested in changing that 8% cap.
Well, what can we do?
You need to talk to the state legislatures and make a mandate to them that they want to see this change to help pay for public safety.
Specifically.
Your representatives in District 10 is where you would start.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
anybody here that speaks to the representatives, which is Mike Moyle, Bruce Skog, and Tammy Nichols in our district. And it starts there, and then we can talk until we're blue in the face, and we do. We meet with them all the time, trying to come up with ideas and solutions and stuff. It takes the populace to force that change on that, because they won't listen to us on that.
But at the end of the day, most politicians want to be reelected.
Yep.
And when they're telling people that they're going to increase property taxes, it's not popular. It doesn't get reelection votes. So even though they may think that there needs to be some changes, they would always be reluctant to do so.
And it doesn't matter who they are, what side of the aisle they're on, it's all the same.
So you had said that it reduces over time. At some point, does it like zero out? And what happens when it does zero out?
That's a great question. So we have been talking about that lately. A levy rate is not something that most people are familiar with. It is the amount that you pay per dollar, per $1,000, per $100 on your taxes. And when House Bill 389, before it went into effect in 2021, our levy rate was a 0.0017, and currently it's a 0.0007. I don't know how much farther it can go down. I mean, we're continuing to grow, and we are raising our budget, but we're only raising our budget 8%, and 8% doesn't even cover the cost of inflation for us today. We've had to use, and I've told representatives, Liz, I've told representatives that we're using our savings, the fire district savings right now, just to keep the lights on at the fire department. We can only do that for a few more years, and there won't be any more savings left.
So, but to answer your question, it will never go to zero. There'll always be something, but that amount will go down. But there's never a point at where it'll be zero on that. Yeah. No, that's a good question, though. There needs to be something done too that doesn't allow the levy to go below a certain number. Otherwise, we're all in trouble. right?
Yeah, I've had conversations with some folks about that. They put a cap. Like fire districts levy rate can never be more than 0.0024. That's state statute. So I was trying to figure out how we can come up with what it can't go below. Problem is I don't know how you write legislation for every taxing authority in the state because everybody's going to be different. Our levy rate at the fire district is different than the levy rate for the city, which is different than the cemetery district, which is different than the fire department next door on either side of us. So how do you write it so it can't go below a certain amount? I don't know how to write that.
With the new subdivision going in on Highway 16, how is that going to affect you? That's 6,000 acres.
Oh, about Villanova on
Yeah.
Eagle.
Valanova on the Eagle. That's in our district. How
Correct.
will that affect you?
When we are able to staff that station, it can respond to most of the new houses in 5 minutes. 2,200 of those potential 6,000 houses that they're going to build there over the next, I don't know how long, year, 10 years, 30 years, I have no idea. 2,200 of them are in this fire district. The other 4,000 or so are in Eagles Fire District. We do have another piece of land up there at Erie Way to build another fire station someday. But it has to have enough call volume to be able to sustain it, and we wouldn't. We have only had a couple calls up there since the subdivision went in. Those response times now are 12 to 13 minutes.
And is that 12 and 13 regardless if Eagle responds if you're on a call or? Because it's pretty far away from both stations, I think.
Yeah, from the Eagle side, they have to come out to Highway 16 and go up to Erie Way. In the future, there's a cutoff, but I don't,
Linder Road's going to be the cut in.
that's the cut in. They can't get the access through there yet, but I think I have heard that after 500 houses, they have to have that secondary off of Linder. I don't know where they are in that process.
As of right now, it's not in our 5-year work plan to punch Linder through.
But isn't that part of the development requirement?
I can't speak to that. I don't know. I don't have anything.
Because it was part of the development requirement and then they were supposed to be punching it through when they hit the 500 homes. That's what I heard, but yeah. So we'll see. We'll find that out on there. Okay. What other, any questions online, Dana? No? Okay, what other questions you have? Go ahead. No, go ahead. That's okay. That's good.
Last year you came to meet some of the residents over on Otter Rock Drive in the Heron River.
Yep.
And you said we're going to have no parking signs. You said we're going to be speed bumps. You said there.
Say we were going to have speed bumps. That
was the plan.
Speed study on there.
Okay. Then you said you would put a buoyed rope across to stop people from the other side coming to the houses. Just wanted to know what the status of that is, because on Breakwater now, specifically Breakwater, for where we live on Otter Rock, it's not an issue, but on there, when they're parking on both sides, only one car can go through at a time. So just want
So
to.
it's going to have, so we're working with ACHD gave us, we have to do it, but put an ordinance in place in order to make that residential parking only in those few areas there. And we're working on that. Sean's working on it. So we have a public hearing and we have to go through this whole legal process to do that. Once that is approved, which we're hoping on August 17th, let's see, August 19th is our city council meeting. Then ACHD will put the signs up for that, for residential parking only on those areas. And Breakwater is the one that goes where the entrance is to the park, right?
No. Oh, yeah, to the
Yeah.
the big
So
park that they
yeah,
built.
that
So then it curves around to Otter Rock.
Right, okay, so Breakwater on the park side is gonna stay open to parking, the other side is gonna be closed to parking with that. So that's what's gonna happen there. The buoy thing, not everybody over there was a fan of the buoys.
Oh, okay.
So just so you know, in the conversations, however, with this, it's been they've asked more about it here recently on it, and we're going to take a look at that. We just haven't figured that out
We
yet.
don't live on the water. We live across the street, so it's not an issue for us. It just came up in that meeting.
No, it came up in the meeting, and some of those folks that weren't at the meeting didn't want the buoy.
Hmm.
Right? And so it's like, okay, so what do we do here? So we're kind of playing with that. Some of the folks are now saying that we got people coming over and playing on our dock or on our beach right there. We get that. So we'll figure that out. It's a work in progress. I'm just going to tell you that. And then you had a third one on that. What was the third one? Parking.
Speed bumps, but you should.
Speed bumps. So they have to do the speed study, and that's ACHD. And I will tell you, these guys don't like speed bumps because it blows up their trucks, when they hit those things. And so that's going to be a different animal on there with that all together.
Because that is a big issue on Otter Rock.
Yeah.
People coming around the corner and going to the park.
And whizzing through there. Yep. Yep. So.
Okay.
I was going to say this real quick. The other thing I just thought about is we are updating our impact fees. We're going through an impact fee study right now where we're going to add a police impact fee, a pathways and trails impact fee, update our parks impact fee. I know ACHD is going through a process right now too to update their impact fee, which is going to increase that. Ada County is doing an impact fee now as well to help pay for jail, the coroner office, and something else with the police, with their police station. So we're going to be adding that. So you're going to see a whole slew of impact fees being updated and increased and added here in the next probably 6 months. Our goal for the city's impact fees is to have that hearing in December on there, once that committee is all done with all the studies and stuff like that. So that impact fee can only be used on facilities like that, infrastructure like that. It can't be used on personnel, just so people are aware of that. That's state statute. Okay.
Sounds like we need to try and add one for the fire department though, too.
They have an impact fee.
Oh, okay.
The impact fee for the fire department built that new station.
Oh,
It cannot
All
be
right.
used on the people.
Okay. More on I'm on the corner of Otter Rock and Mira. I'm on the northwest corner. Like last weekend, there were 12 or 20 cars parked on Otter Rock on the brick part. And on the other side from across my house where there's no driveways from Bell Fountain and Lothbury, there were anywhere between 7 and 15 cars parked there. When it gets over 100, all the streets get impacted down there at the corner where it goes from Otter Rock and turns up to Mira. So, and I don't see Mira and that part of maybe that part of Otter Rock is included in when you're calling for Otter Rock, but I see nothing for
So-
Mira.
No,
For
so
no
it's
parking.
It's not all no parking, it's residential parking.
Residential parking.
It's gonna go that Otter Rock, up Mira, down whatever that next street is, back around down Breakwater, is that what it is? Back down to Otter Rock. And then over in your neighborhood, I think it's your neighborhood, you're on the other side, right? You're in on the west, east side, it's gonna be in that neighborhood as well. Yeah, so, well, that's a different issue with you guys. This is simply the issue with parking on residential parking. So that's what's all going to be taking place with that, and that's what's being written into this ordinance that we have. Did we what?
They put no parking signs.
We put fire lane. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because there were used to be parking
Yep.
signs.
Yep.
I get worried.
So no, that's internal, that's our parking lot, we can do that. Anything on the streets on the outside has to go through this ordinance thing that we have to do before we can put the no parking and the residential parking, all that only, right there. Well, we don't have that parking there. We don't have residential parking only yet.
But it will be.
Yeah, yes.
There'll still be sites parked.
No, wait till we get this done and see the map that shows it's not going to be what you're talking. It's going to be, it'll fix that problem. And including what's the brick road that goes in?
Otter Rock.
Is that Otter Rock too? There'll be signage going down that too to prevent people from parking on that as well. Yeah.
So I guess, Mr. Mayor, I would just want to add to that, just so that all the residents of Heron River know, the mayor so you guys have a new board now, again, right? So the mayor just met with the president of the board. Hopefully he'll be around for a little while. But we field 100 calls a day from everybody in Heron River. And so the solution to that, and the police do too. And so the solution to that is the mayor meets with the president. So if you guys have questions, you need to get your answers from the HOA board. Okay. Because that's how we're putting all that out, because what it does is it makes there to be one, he's communicating directly with the president. And so therefore that's the source. So it doesn't go to one of us who answers the phone and then maybe we provide misinformation because we didn't get the whole story. And so it's really important that we try to follow that just so that we can make sure that everything gets out. But that president has all the latest information. And that was yesterday, wasn't it? Or was it Friday?
We met on that.
Yeah. So they just had that meeting.
Cool. What other question? Right here.
Yep.
Hang on one second. Let me get the microphone here real quick.
Well, I heard it talking about speed bumps, and I wanted to thank y'all for putting the trailer on Taurus.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's helped some. However, I was out in the yard the other day and saw somebody coming and it read 35 and it's supposed to be 20. And I pointed at the sign. It was a little
Did they point back at you?
little sedan. No, but he
Okay.
stepped on the gas.
And that happens. Yeah. You know what, guys, we gotta be real. We can't be everywhere 100% of the time.
I know.
People are going to be people and do what they want to do, even with the signs. Some people use those signs as a contest. How fast can I go?
So-
You do that?
So
Only
I,
in the Corvette.
Oh, only in the Corvette. So what color?
Noted.
What's the plate number?
Yeah. We know where. We know where. Yeah.
So we've even had kids on Plumber go over 100 miles an hour
Plumber?
yeah.
on Plumber.
Wow.
So this is a problem, but we can't be everywhere all the time. We just have to hit it as much as we can.
Well-
You're just lucky you didn't get the one finger wave back. So
Oh, well, I would have chased him down. No, I'm just kidding. I missed what it would take to get speed bumps.
you need to get with ACHD and they have to do a traffic thing. But like, again, fire district is probably not going to support it because it's a problem for fire trucks and equipment and apparatus like that to get in there.
So I would notice that is that First Street?
This main street over here has them.
The one that goes from the river?
Yeah, right down here. Yeah, right by the bar down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has them. So I wondered, I went, because, I was at Star Tire and you can't get out unless you turn right and go,
Sure.
swing around and go on that, whatever street that is, First Street.
No, it's Main Street.
It's Main Street. So I noticed that is rather annoying having so many, and I didn't know how they got them.
It was done through a speed study, like I was telling you.
It took
However,
years.
after those came in, it became a problem for our fire
Yep.
on that.
Yeah. I understand.
Fire trucks are they're really heavy and break springs when we go over them.
Yeah. And so that, we got to find other solutions for stuff like that, in reality, right? That's the biggest thing. Can they be done? Sure, but it causes problems.
Okay, so I,
And I will tell you, I've seen people fly down that street and jump those stupid things.
It does not
Slow
slow down as much as you guys would
No.
think. You would think that speed bumps. You would think.
And I
that
will
they-
tell you,
but-
with them not painted right now,
Yeah.
I about kill myself when I walk in the morning because you don't see them and you just about go, ooh, right? Head over, what do you call it? Head over
Yield.
tea kettle.
Yeah.
so, and then at Taurus, getting out onto 44. So right now, in order to, sometimes if it's, I have to go through the
Mhm.
McDonald's parking lot, which is ironic since they took our right away.
They didn't take it. They asked for it.
I know. And so I have to go through there to get out onto 44 or, and then flip around at Cosmo, if I want to go east. So can we get a white line? Who did I have? To
You're not going to see a lot happen with things out there because they're planning on widening that in a couple of years anyway. So when that widening happens, it's going to change the whole dynamics. Now, what we are doing as a city is where Brunel is, Point S Tire. It's
Yeah.
not Brunel anymore. Point S Tire is. There's a road that's going to be between that fence and their building going all the way to Seneca Springs. And Seneca Springs is slated to have a light. And so that's what will be the access to turn left, most likely, is to take that back road and use that light on there. Yeah. Yep. Yep. But they're getting ITD out here to paint the lines right now. Not happening. Especially since they're gonna be tearing that stuff up here pretty quick. Yeah, yeah.
Mayor, I know earlier you said you had something else you were trying to
It
remember,
was the
think about.
impact fees.
Oh, it was impact fees. Okay. I was wondering if it was related down to Freedom Park and some of the parking solutions that are
So-
in your future.
Freedom, oh, okay, so the other thing, the city just purchased additional property down there by Freedom Park to add 165 parking spaces. So that's gonna alleviate a lot of the challenges down there as well. We just closed on that a week ago. The parking part of that won't happen until next year sometime, just so you're aware, on that. What's that? Yeah, right next to the River House. Yeah, property right next to the River House. So that's gonna alleviate some of the challenges we're gonna see down there as well. I mean, we're more than doubling our parking capability down there with that parking lot. We're also at the Riverwalk parking lot's all recycled asphalt right now over there. We're gonna look at paving that this next year and actually putting stalls in so you can actually park more in there as well. So we see a lot of things changing and helping with that here this next year on that. Yeah, right here, Ryan.
Your hand come up, I'm sorry.
It might be more for Tominski and maybe police, but as it relates to the fire hydrants and specifically with some of the parking issues that have gone on, is a law that you can't park within 15 feet of a fire hydrant on either direction.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so if that's being violated due to many cars parking, and of course there would be concern that fire cannot do what they need to do if they do need to get in the area.
Break a
So
window.
should that just be reported? I was going to say, should that just be reported to non-emergency police?
Yes, that would be us. We're well aware of all these issues, so we've been going around writing as many tickets as we can, parking tickets. And that is one of the ones that has popped up multiple times. So if you see something, please tell us. We'd be more than happy to go down there and give
It's
them.
the non-emergency. not the-
Yes, yeah, please, yeah. So that'd be perfect.
I know our guys would love to break a window and put a hose or something.
I think we've all seen Backdraft, right?
Sometimes they would love to try it.
I'm gonna walk around with this one. Yes, that thing sucks. So, all right. Yes, ma'am.
Second. Coming.
I want to see Ryan run. Make him run.
He's getting his steps in, okay? You're keeping him healthy. So with the fire and the police and the Bill 389, what can we do to try and, I guess this is a big question, try and overturn it, repeal it, modify it somehow? Because it sounds like it's for all the houses and the price of the sale of homes. Fire department and police department, but fire in particular seems like it's getting truly the short straw out of the deal.
Well, the police are too through the city side. So we're
Okay.
doing some stuff differently there.
Okay, but so what, I mean, like I said, I think this is a much bigger question than I realized. What's the best course for citizens to try to take to get this
It
modified somehow?
requires everybody to contact your local representatives, the Bruce Scoggs, Mike Moyle, and Tammy Nichols, your two senators and representatives here in our district to make that change. They got to be willing to. Now, you're going to have a hard time getting people to make that change. I'm going to just be honest with you. But we are also looking at other solutions too, outside of that. Doesn't mean that they're going to come to fruition. Doesn't mean they're going to work. We just got to figure out if the solutions are going to be viable for that. On the city side, our police contract this year is about $4 million. Our property tax levy amount is only $2.1 million. So we have a $1.9 million shortfall. We collect an extra fee from the building that no one else is in the state's doing to help pay for that shortfall. Well, when building slows down and stops, that causes a bigger problem, right? But for right now, we're able to maintain that level of service by adding the officers as necessary. Doesn't work the same for the fire because you need to have an ongoing source of revenue in order to staff that station, right? At least minimum of 9, I think, right, Greg? A minimum of 9 people. And so that's the challenge that we're facing. So it's going to take a collective effort between the citizens, the business community, and the local governments to try to make that change. What's been happening is the local governments have been fighting this battle and just getting our butts handed to us on trying to fight that battle, right? They see us that we're overtaxing. Well, 100% of my property tax goes to my police. How is that overtaxing? We're not overtaxing, not even close. When you think about STAR, $2.1 million is all we levy in property taxes on a $4.5 billion value. That's very little dollars that's being levied by the city of Star to pay for our police, right? So that's the challenge we're facing is getting a voice with your legislators and stuff. And next year's a good time. Next year's an election year, right? Force a change. And it takes you guys to force that change on there.
Just real quick, Mr. Mayor, I was going to add to that. You asked what you could do. All of us were recently at a neighborhood meeting where it was organized by a couple of neighbors, and they brought in a large group of their neighbors out to the common area in the subdivision to ask these types of questions and to get information. And then from there, they were able to, okay, well, because the half a dozen phone calls in here aren't going to do anything, but you get 30 and 40 or 100 people from your subdivision together and they get educated and then they get motivated. That's going to make some change. And if we can do that in all these subdivisions, maybe we can enact some real solid change at the legislature.
If we can see, the problem is the damage has been done already. You can't go back and collect the damage. The 2.6 or 5 million that they've lost, there's no way to go back and recover that. You can stop the bleeding, right? And try to go on from there. But it needs to happen sooner than later. Otherwise, it's just not Star that's suffering. It's other parts of the state that are having the same challenges and issues with that as well, right? The areas that, the unfortunate part, the reality is the city of Star got penalized the biggest because our growth didn't happen until after that bill was passed because of COVID. People were just flying in here, right? We didn't have the ability to increase our budget to cover all this stuff in the past before that bill was there. All of our growth came after the fact. And that's hurting the fire, that's hurting the police, right here in our not, well, it is hurting the police in a way, but we're being creative, hurting our city here like that. Other towns that are smaller, even the city of Boise or Meridian, they don't get impacted like that because they're already levying $100 million or $50 million in property taxes. They'll never get to that 8% cap. They'll be around 3%, 3 or 4 most of the time, right? So it never impacts them like that. It's the smaller communities. And as I've told the legislature, even the smaller communities to the west of us, where the growth is going to suffer tremendously. The Parmas of the world, the Notices, the Marsings, all these smaller communities that have low property tax dollar amounts, it only takes 4 or 5 houses to blow out the property tax, the 8%, right? And that's the challenge that we're
Notice
facing.
it's 2 houses.
What?
In Notice, it's 2 houses.
Yeah, Notice it's 2 houses. 2 houses built in Notice turns their amount upside down, right? So that's the challenge that we're facing, and it's just trying to change. No one wants to pay property taxes. I totally understand that. I get that, right? But you got to pay for this stuff somehow, right? You got to pay for the service. And when I talk about the fire levy, you're paying for insurance. You hope to God you never have to use it, but you pray to God that they're there when you need it. And if they can't staff that station, that prayer gets cut in half for everybody, right? Because you don't know if it takes them 9 minutes to get to you versus a 5-minute call. That's a huge difference between losing your house, losing a family member or yourself, right in there. So that's the challenge. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So when we pay our property taxes, does 100% of the property taxes the Star residents pay come back to the city?
No, you got 12 taxing districts. Everybody. So if you're north of Highway 44, you have 11. If you're south of Highway 44, you have 12. And the only difference is you're part of a flood control district 10, right? So all these different government entities, the mosquito districts, cemetery districts, sewer and water district, fire district, library districts, West Ada School District, Ada County EMS, you got all these different things that are all part of that. So we are only a small piece as a city of Star of that total property tax amount. So if you're paying $2,500 or something, $3,000, $4,000, whatever your value of your house is, we're probably only like $200, $300, $400 of that total property tax amount. You see what I mean? So it's all split up amongst all those on there. Yeah. It's a good question. No, ambulance district is a separate district. Yes. Yep. All the ambulance districts are having that same challenge on that too. Yeah. And he hasn't said this yet, but we've talked enough. I may be wrong, but I'm going to answer this a little bit. If an ambulance district goes away, where's that going to fall? Right there. And they don't even have the funding to get the other people paid, right? On the station. So that creates even another issue. So this is why it's important to make some adjustments in there and really have a clear understanding of how these things get paid and the necessity of these different entities.
I would give you my HOA fee.
Hey, I used to,
Give you our whole subdivision.
well, I will tell you, I used to have YHOA on my license plate, but that's not what that meant. It was for Youth Hunters of America, but you're right.
It's the question of the day. And I did write to my legislators, abolish the HOA, because I can't locate president of our HOA. They won't release that information.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately, that's not a city issue. We
know.
don't control any of that. That's a private issue between the citizens that signed that paper when they
I didn't.
purchased their home.
When I refied mine, I said, I'm not signing it.
Well, but you signed it initially, so.
But
Yeah.
they were, I don't know, they did something so that I would go through.
Silly question. So what if we reduce the amounts that's the reduction? You know, the homeowner's exemption, 125,000 to 100, that won't change enough?
No, it doesn't change anything because it's all based on what dollar amount we levy.
Okay, all right.
What that does is just makes you pay more into the pool versus somebody else,
Okay.
right? It shifts the burden to somebody else. So it doesn't, that exemption actually should probably go up versus go down to help
Okay.
different folks on that. So not everybody's paying exactly the same.
Because it's a whole different deal in California. It's like $7,500 and people just laugh when I tell them what we
Yeah.
have the
Yeah, 100,
reduction for up
what,
here.
25,000, I think.
Yeah,
now?
something like that. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. It used to be indexed in Idaho and they got rid of that too. She has a question right here, Ryan. For fire? Beautiful. I could have a drink.
So there's been 2 fires up there off of 16 recently, like in the last 4 to 6 weeks.
Mhm.
The last one was closer to Velnova, I think. I never heard the cause of it. I was just wondering if you had any comments on that.
A fire.
Fire.
That was the cause. It was a fire.
A fire was a fire? Somebody was having a fire?
It was the last one that was 300 or 400 acres. That one was caused by shooting.
Oh, that was shooting.
And then the first one that we had was most likely chains dragging on a big truck.
That was the one that was off of RA Way, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're right. Fire.
It was fire.
Did you find that it was a bit of a hardship for that last fire that was so large because so many resources from fire would have to go up there and that would take away from the city level of a response needed, at the city level?
Yes, every time, that's one of the other things that people don't understand. We have a great big beautiful building down here that is 36,000 square feet. There's only one company in there. So once that fire truck leaves and those folks leave to go on a call, doesn't matter what kind of call it is, a fire call or a medical call or whatever, the next station that's coming is coming from Kingsbury. So that adds 5 minutes to the response just because of the distance. Or if it's on this side of town, like Highway 16, then the Station 43 and Eagle will come. But that adds another 5 minutes. So, I mean, when we have a big incident like that, all of our resources were gone. All except for one of Eagles, the Hidden Springs station was still staffed. And then the northern stations in Meridian were also gone. So we had a huge void in here. We do bring, like we brought a Caldwell engine over to Middleton to cover that station, which would come here as well if there was a call, but it's hard because we have 2 different CAD systems because we have 2 different counties. And so those folks from Canyon County that come and cover for us can't see the call. They can't see it on their computer. They have to do it all the old fashioned way, listen for it. So there's some difficulty there as well, but we do have some coverage.
But there's another aspect of that too. That second fire, when it was blowing up over here, if you guys recall, there was another fire at South Boise. So it pulled more resources that way, right? And so when you start getting these multiple fires like that, it really stretches these guys thin for coverage. You know, I don't know if you guys remember when they had the alarm here at Blake Trailers, and it brought in trucks from, I mean, we had like 13 or 14 trucks here from everywhere, right? Well, that stretches things thin too, right? So, I mean, it just takes one fire to really make it a problem for everybody.
They're saying high fire danger and there's no fire all over town.
Yeah, no, there's not, and there is, that has to come from the state level. Okay, but the county's commissioners already put before the 4th of July ordinances out there that does not allow fireworks, ignited fireworks of any kind, and the county lands up in the hills and stuff like that. But you can't stop people from doing that, right? I mean, that's the challenge that you see with that. We blow up our big, beautiful ones here in Star just to try to get people there, right? Instead of shooting them somewhere else, you know, so then we get people shooting them off in the park with everybody else. You're like, whoa, what are you doing? Right? The one other thing I was just going to tell you, up here on off Floating Feather by the church, by this new fire station, you'll see, I've seen a lot of questions about the parking lot and what's going on up there. That parking lot we're putting a park up there called Boot Hill Park. It's all grass. It's kind of doing this with Star Cemetery District. They own all the land. They don't need that stuff for 15 to 20 years. It was just going to be weeds. So we put a park in there, put a parking lot so we can get kids dropped off there versus parents having to drive into the middle school, because we got a grant and built a pathway all the way from Floating Feather into the middle school. And so you're going to see this fall, you can probably see a lot of parents dropping kids off right there at that location, which is great. That's what it's intended for. But we just got it seeded today, I think. It got seeded in the grass. You'll start seeing it show up there probably in the next 10 days to 2 weeks or whatnot. But that's what's going on up there on that park there. Okay. What other questions we got?
We're at 21 commissioned currently.
0.25.
21.25 commissioned. We keep our SRO during the summertime. That's who is almost down there almost every single day on his shift, is our SRO at Freedom Park. And he jumps around between the other parks, just checking in on the kids and whatnot. So that's a 0.25 portion. But we have 21 commissioned deputies and then one administrative gal in the front, and then also our code enforcement. So I think that.
Yeah, and then the population you were asking, we're at 22,380. And that is the city limits of Star. And that's as of April of this year, the numbers that come out from Compass. And compassidaho.org, if you go to their website, there's a demographic section, and you can look at that, and you can look at the history. And Compass is our metropolitan planning organization for both the Canyon and Ada County. So you can see all the cities and the county's populations from like 1990 up until now. And they provide that data on there. So, and then
The fire side, we have 23 firefighters. And then we have myself as a fire chief, I have an operations chief, we have a training chief and a fire marshal. And we have 3 gals that work in the office that do everything.
Is that 23 just Star, or is that Mid-Star combined?
It's just Star.
That's just Star. Yep.
And I think on August 13th, that's our next open house. The topic for our next open house is actually going to be introducing and explaining each one of the deputy that works here in Stars, their roles. So it'll be a PowerPoint presentation in here, and we're going to go through each person, what they do, you know, what their responsibilities are, stuff like that. So that way we kind of break down what each and everybody's responsibilities are. Because it's like earlier when I said CID, you know, you guys are like, well, what's that? You know, Canine Luna will probably be here, so she'll be the big hit of the day as usual. But we'll break down everything and what everybody does here at the police department. So if you want to come to that one, August 13th at 6 p.m.
So we have so for the city of Star, about 4 years ago, we put in our comprehensive plan that we want, our goals for policing is 1 officer per 1,000, less than 4-minute response times, and then 17 or less crimes per 100,000 for the city of Star. And we're right that number that he gave you, the total, the deputies is off of last year's number. We were right at like 1.01 officers per 1,000. Our response times are just shy of 4 minutes right now with that. And then our, on average, right? And then our crimes per 100,000 is down around 13. So everything is looking good with that number. The national average is over 2. It's like 2.7 or some crazy number like that. But we found that 1 would work. Before that, we were down like at 0.67 to 0.72 officers per 1,000. And so that's why if we keep that at that 1 to 1,000, we think we'll be fine here in the city of Star. And then we make adjustments as necessary on that. And so, what's that? Yeah, yeah. And then, so this year we're adding some deputies and SRO, which will increase that number and get us right back to that 1 to 1,000 number with that new population number. So.
Well, I think the first week afterwards, seeing the voter turnout was surprising. I mean, they walked and knocked on a lot of doors, the firefighters did. And, had people gave a lot of support, but a lot of people didn't show up to vote. Yeah. We're trying something new this time. It's social media. It's not my world. I'm on social media, but I don't understand all the ins and outs of it. So there's a guy that just moved to the 2-star that's what he does. And so he's offered his services to help us
Get the message
better
out.
advertising. You could geofence Star. So you take all the Star Fire District boundary. And so ads will come up, and everything that we have done in the past has been organic. So if somebody likes our page or whatever, then they'll see something. But if you're not friends with us, apparently you don't see it. I really don't understand it. But he said there's a lot that he can do to try to get the younger folks out to vote. And so why not? Let's try it.
And I want to make sure everybody understands this too. The reason you don't hear me advocating for it is because I can't. The state law prevents me from doing that in my position as a city. I am for it. I can tell you that. It's not filed yet, so I can tell you that right now. I am for this because it's a necessity for our community, right? But during that time frame when it gets filed with the clerk, I, as a city, cannot say yes or no to any levy, that regardless if it's the fire district, the school district, whatever. Not allowed to do that. It's very frustrating. That's another state law that should be changed. Because if there's a necessity, we should be able to advocate for that stuff, right? To our citizens. Now, what I can do is if I talk one-on-one, I can talk about it there, but I just can't go publicly advertise and do all that kind of stuff on social media. I just want to make sure everybody understood that because I got questioned. Well, how come you're not saying anything? Because I can't.
It's the same with the fire district. So the firefighters union, when they're off duty, can go out and knock on doors and tell people or ask people to vote yes and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that I'm allowed to do is give you the information. So I can give you all the information, but I can't tell you how to vote.
Right. Yeah, that's state law. Yeah.
So what do you, oh, I'm sorry.
It's in the beginnings of being discussed. The model that is in Idaho right now that it seems to be working is in Kootenai County, Coeur d'Alene area. So the county has an ambulance district, just like Ada County does and Canyon County does. But what they do is their office that they have in Kootenai County, they still have a chief there that really just oversees all the billing, supplies, training and all of that. And then all of the income that it gets, they transfer to the fire district. And then the fire district provides the personnel for it. It seems to be working. It's a discussion that we have talked about when the ambulance district isn't able to fund more ambulances to go to that model, but that's a county commission decision to give up their ambulance district because they're actually the commissioners of the ambulance district, and then they'll close a meeting, and then they are the county commissioners. So they're the same people.
It's a challenge. But what you're saying though is even if you're to close it down, there is no mechanism to add the money into them to increase it. No. Right. Right.
We are advancing our training. So right now we were just required to be an EMT when you get hired at the fire department. We have a pilot program in Ada County right now to get our folks up to the advanced level. So they wouldn't be paramedics, but there are certain things that they could do because we're waiting longer for an ambulance to show up than we used to. In Canyon County, it's really bad.
Yeah, right here, Ryan.
While I'm walking over there, I was just going to say getting a dog for the police got everybody excited. Do you need a Dalmatian, Chief? Would that get
Dalmatian for the
everybody
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as back to fire, I see Horseshoe Bend has a volunteer corps for their fire. I don't know if that's a possibility in Star, but I think theirs is almost 100% volunteer, but that's.
Sorry used to be that way
Did it,
back in the day.
was it more for the wildfires rather than?
Horseshoe Bend's like 1,000 people at the most, right? I mean, I think, I don't know, he's going to answer that, but I think volunteer works more for a smaller
Yeah.
style unit like that than this larger stuff, but Chief can talk about that.
So the mandate for training for a volunteer fireman is the same as it is for full-time firemen. And people got to go to work and make a living because when you're a volunteer, it doesn't pay very good. I mean, we don't have any volunteers. Volunteer recruitment is very hard because it used to be when you were in a small town like Horseshoe Bend or when Star was a little town, the business would just let you go. Like if you worked at the Merc and you were at this fire, the fire bell went off, you would just leave the store and jump on the fire truck and go. Since then, the training has gotten a lot more stringent and the training hours that are required are a lot. And then we're also battling trying to keep our insurance rating where it is. We're getting ready to go August 1st. We start the process of a reevaluation of our services through the Insurance Rating Bureau. And we're going to try to keep it at a 3. With that station being unstaffed, I don't know if it'll stay a 3 or if it'll go to a 4. The higher the number, the more they raise your rates.
That's your rates. So the ISO rating he's talking about at a 3, when they reevaluate, if it goes up, your insurance rates at your house can go up if that rate goes up.
And it from a 3 to a 4, it's a small amount. But if it went from like a 3 to an 8, it's a significant amount of money. But we're doing our best to try to keep it at a 3. I just won't know until they finish their evaluation.
Well, you guys have an awesome responsibility. I mean, so in the 20 years I've had property here, so it's grown tenfold.
Oh, yeah.
So you have an amazing.
Met my wife here in 1993. It was very little. Very few people here. I will, I don't know what's going on today. It slipped my mind again. There was something else I was going to tell you about that. Ryan, do you know what it is? Probably not. Come on, Ryan. It'll come back. If I remember it, then I'll say something.
Are you going to replace a tree?
Oh, the Christmas tree out here? Yes, we are. We're going to replace that tree. I'm just very thankful that tree didn't take out Old City Hall or City Hall when it went down. That was a big tree. We lost 31 trees, Ryan, is that right? For the city is Star itself, not including the private residences. 31 trees in the city of Star that we lost during that timeframe. And I will tell you, Republic Services has been a blessing because they provided our dumpsters and stuff for people to use at no cost to anybody, right? And so I was out of town on vacation when operations chief Matt, he was down at the River House at an event, and he calls me. He goes, "I just want to let you know." I didn't know the storm happened because I was out of town. "I want to let you know a tree fell on the River House." I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Everything's okay. Structurally, it looks fine." So I got Lonnie on, and he came down, and then he started shooting me pictures. I was like, "Oh my God, we lost a lot of trees." And when that was a bummer. But we're looking at trying to get one that's 25 foot, a big spruce to replace that. We're working through that right now on replacing that tree. Oh man, I just had it and I lost it again. What is wrong with me today, right? I'll think about it again because the tree thing brought it up, or maybe I don't know. It's been a long week already. I'll just tell you that right now. Have you learned anything, by the way, today? Where's your question?
I mean, that's what I was going to say.
In order
What's
for you to
what's
get your
his
merit badge
question?
and me to sign off on this, you got to ask me a question.
You can ask him where food is. I mean, you got to ask him something.
No, but
No, I don't have a question.
no question. Are you learning anything? Okay, good. That's the most important part. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're getting old enough that you're gonna have to start paying that yourself. So, yeah, good, awesome. What other questions we got? Nothing? Come on. Let's see. You got to ask questions so I could try to remember what I was going to say there. But let's see here. Oh, that's what I was going to say. We are working on what's called the WUI, Wildland Urban Interface process. You're going to see more of that probably in August. With us being in the foothills and stuff like that, we're going through a process to see what we need to do as a city, and that's going to be an interesting deal overall, I think, right? And what that means, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out myself, right? But we have a study going on that determines what that WUI area looks like and suggestions and things like that on what we can do as a city to help in case we have a catastrophic fire in the foothills and stuff out there. Okay. The city's summer youth program? Yeah. For what? Well, I mean, it's something that Ryan can look at, but you know what it requires? Then your senior citizen better bring some cookies and cakes.
Hey.
And no money.
So a couple of things with that, Mayor. So one, to pick up on that, we do have Make Star Shine Day, right?
Yeah.
And so we do the big rake up of the leaves, and a lot of those homes that are done are mainly from the seniors or those who can't rake their own lawn. So that's a big thing. But Mayor, we do have a question online from our friend Bob. He says, why can't we have builders contribute on a new construction basis towards a fund similar to funding police in Star?
For the fire?
What
are we talking about?
It just says, why can't we have builders contribute to a new construction basis towards a fund similar to, so I'm assuming he's talking about fire.
Yeah, Greg, you want to?
The answer is we already do. So that mitigation fee is for police and fire. So that is a topic that we talk about a lot. We've collected a lot of money since we've been collecting those mitigation fees. But I have to get more confident that we're going to get a permanent levy passed at 66 2/3. And the highest that we've got to so far is 55%, because I have enough mitigation fees that if it passes in November, I won't get any funding for 14 months. We have enough money collected in mitigation fees to hire the people immediately and staff that fire station.
Instead of waiting.
So if I,
months.
but if I spend that money today and hire those people today, and it doesn't pass, then the following year I have to lay them all off. And so my theory has always been, it's hard enough to find good firefighters. And I think all the citizens of Star deserve the best that we can find. I want the best firemen that we can possibly find to hire here. If I could tell any of you in here that I have funding for 2 years, but then you can go to Meridian and have funding for 20 years, a whole career, where are you going to go? So you're going to go to those other places that have permanent funding. And then we're going to get stuck with what's left. Not bad people. They're not bad people at all. But they're not going to be the caliber of people that we want to hire in Star to work at the fire department. That's what I'm battling right now in my mind and my staff. We talk about it all the time. Should we just hire the people right now? But we've already tried the levy 3 times. We've got up to 55% to say yes, but we need 66 2/3. It could be the need is not going away. The need is still there. We have to be able to pass that levy somehow to use that money.
What do you mean? Well, it depends on the number of people that actually vote, right? So if we have 10,000 people voting, you need 6,624 people to, not 23, but 24 to approve it, right? So that's the challenge. And when we had like 9% turnout, that was really low, right?
Like last November was it presidential election last November?
Yep.
We had 5,500 people vote yes in Star. If those 5,500 people would have came in May, we would have passed it with like 90%. But they just didn't come back out and vote. The only thing on the ballot was the fire district levy and I think a library commissioner maybe. That was all that was on the ballot. And I don't know how to get more people out.
People just need to get energized. As I tell everybody, presidential elections are great, but it's your local elections that impact you more. You need to get out and vote. Almost need to, if you're going to flip the script, you almost need to flip it to say, hey, I want my local elections to have 85% turnout and the other way, go the other way, because the local elections are what are going to make the difference.
It was interesting to
Just vote all the time. It makes it
this
easy.
gentleman's first question about, what are people saying? Why aren't they voting for it? Well, when we went to the subdivision that Ryan talked about and talked to a group of people that night, all of those folks were from California. Everybody that was in that park. Twice, 2 or 3 times, the question came up is when are we going to be mailed our ballot and the information? And then they wondered why they didn't get the information from us. Well, we got a voter list to send all of our information, our flyers and stuff to. None of those people got it because none of them were registered to vote. They didn't know they had to. Because in California, they get their ballot mailed to them and then they mail it back in. They don't have to go to a polling place like we do here. So we had to explain that to them that night. And so I don't know how many of the 20,000 people that have moved here in the last however many years are still waiting for their ballot to come.
Yeah, you can still request it here and you'll get it. If you want to vote absentee, that's still the option, right?
That was foreign to me. I had never heard that before, but there was 2 or 3 different people said, well, when is our packet going to come in the mail?
Well, and we don't have a packet here in Idaho. Plain and simple, there's no packet. The state won't fund it. I mean, the Secretary of State's asked for money for it to try to get voter information out. He does that best he can with voteidaho.gov. Simple as that. Go to that website. You can find everything out about every election in every part of the state. but we can't send out, don't have the funds to mail a packet out to everybody. That's the state, that's a different thing altogether. That's a conversation for a different day because we could go for hours on that one. And you're not wrong. Okay, other questions? Okay.
And she said there's jellyfish out there right now.
I
Is there-
don't- We don't have any jellyfish. I've never seen a jellyfish in that.
Well, there's pictures. Yeah, there's.
Have we,
pictures of
what
them.
jellyfish do we have?
They're just little ones like this. They're not like regular.
Oh.
They're in that.
Well, then catch them and cook them, I guess. I don't know.
Cook them.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I heard. She just asked me to.
We have swimmer's itch too. Swimmer's itch. You guys know what swimmer's itch is? Yeah. Swimmer's itch is, it's almost in every body of water that you have, right? It's just a matter if your body's going to react to it or not. You know, and people have allergic reaction to the swimmer's itch. Just shower, dry off when you get out.
Basket on
Yeah.
water all day.
Yep.
We're working on that right now. Yeah. The, part of our solution with the swimmers just thing, because of snails and, you know, things like that. And we're taking out that vegetation along the shorelines going in. And so it's being sprayed and then they're raking it out. He got some pond rakes or whatever, and there's been some serious mounds of that stuff coming out. And so it'll take a process and it's going to be on all sides, even including the private side. It's all going to be wiped out over on that side too. So. Yeah, you got, people want to hear you online. Your neighbors. Mhm. It's highly toxic. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, so they're right now, they just did around where everybody is swimming. They've gone down around by the pump house. They're going to continue to go around the pond that direction. They got to wait a couple weeks between each treatment for the fish because what it does is it takes the oxygen out of the water and the fish have got to go somewhere, right? We don't want to have a big fish die off if we just did the whole pond at one time on there. So, and it's not toxic, just so you're aware. It's very you can swim right in it after they put this stuff in there. But that's the plan right now is to get around that way. Yeah. Well, we're treating it. We're treating it, but it's going to take, I don't know if we have to figure this out on how to get on everybody's property. It's private property. We just can't go on your property, right? Just like anybody else. And so I know some residents were excited when we said we were treating it because they were just going to go rake it out after it was done. So we'll figure that out. I mean, there's a lot of things that we'll dial in and figure out and get a process in place with that. Yeah. And if you guys notice that water level adjusts quite a bit in the summer. Every day I get we have Water District 63 up here that controls the flow of the Boise River based on irrigation demands and all that kind of stuff. And I get a report, right? And every day lately, they've dropped 30 cubic feet more out of the, from coming out of the reservoir, right? So every time that water level drops, you'll see that pond level drop because it's all part of that groundwater supply on there. So that makes a difference too, because as the water goes down, you get more of that stuff coming up. It's more shallow and whatnot, but Lonnie's been out there. We saw him oaring one day in a boat. What the hell is he doing oaring? And so Ryan and I said, well, let's go get him an electric motor so we can at least be efficient going around that. And he's using an electric motor now and you'll see him. So if you see a little boat in the morning with an electric motor, probably Lonnie out there putting that stuff down with that boat. So, yeah. Cool. What else you got? Yep.
some days.
So we have a volunteer that helps us out now, and then we've done overtime also because of this issue, and get deputies from all over the county, really, that come and do some of the overtime, I think.
Yeah, so we staffed, we obviously have a volunteer who's down there, and we have, I think, 4 more volunteers that are in the background process right now, so they'll be down there as well. They have direct phone numbers to, they don't take any law enforcement action. It's observe and report, right? That's their directive. So any of them, especially next year, we're gonna have a lot more volunteers down there in Ada County and Star Police volunteer uniforms. So they can go over and like handle kids or anybody rambunctious, stuff like that. But if anything big pops off, they have all of our direct phone numbers. We're looking at radio stuff in the future. They'll contact us if anything big happens. So we have the volunteer portion that we're doing and attacking it that way. And then outside of that, we're, like I said, it's a growing thing. We're learning. So the city did the 0.25. So that way we have an SRO down there. When we add another SRO, we're going to try and hopefully get that. So we'll have 2 deputies that are assigned to Freedom Park and the parks in Star to be down there almost year round, obviously, not year round, but during the summertime for their shifts. And then on top of that, this year specifically, we put out an overtime list. I think it was over 73 overtime slots of 2 deputies down there. So, and that was obviously, we're analyzing that list right now because of Swimmer's Itch and it's starting to slow down. We want to be fiscally responsible. So we're currently, for the rest of July, we have 2 deputies down there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then once August 1st hits, we're going to reassess, see how busy it is, and then see if we're going to keep 2 deputies on there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just portion shifts. And so it's down there. Mainly our overtime down there is going to be from about 1 to 8 p.m. That's when we see kind of like the chaos starting to ensue. So yeah, the city has gone to great lengths to help all the residents down there and the city residents that want to go enjoy it to make sure that it's an enjoyable place.
And we occasionally have the pop team will stop by, and that's why you see multiples, right?
Yeah, so generally speaking, why you see so many people there is because of all of the issues and because of how many people are there. I mean, some days, as we all know, it's a full-fledged event, right? Like it should be, there's thousands of people down there. So we try and staff it like we would any type of special event or anything like that when we see a lot of people showing up down there. So it's tough, right? Because we have the pop team, problem-oriented policing team. Well, that's a problem when we have 2,000-3,000 people. I don't know if there's that many, but a ton of people in one located area. So they'll usually go down there for their shift and try and help out. But besides that, it's law enforcement, deputies, creatures of habit, right? So we tend to go where the problems are. Well, if the problems are consistently down there, you're going to see guys just showing up throughout their shift nonstop to just show a presence, be there, help out, talk to people, because presence is key. Visibility is a major portion of how we solve a lot of, problems.
And Ryan's team with the kids and stuff, I think you got 110 kids that work for us or something like that. How many kids throughout the city do you have working for? 125? Oh, we're short 15. I don't know them all. But they're down there working too, and their eyes and ears too, and they can get a hold of our deputies too. So that's awesome. It's great. And those kids are the ones that you see every few hours will go pick up the trash and bring it back and dump it and stuff like that, right? And so it kind of creates that constant presence between everybody that's down there. Yeah. Hey, when it's 70 degrees out, you don't see anybody out there. Everybody's weak.
One thing that's interesting this year is West Ada starts school on August 13th. I'm born and raised here. I know the mayor is too. We've never started school that early.
No.
So they're going back to school August 13th. So we'll see that slow down because you'll have football games, you'll have soccer games, you'll have everything.
Yeah.
I think we'll see it slow down significantly in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to point this out too. I've seen people, you need to make it for Star residents only. You need to charge and all this stuff. Well, there's certain protections we have in the state by having it open. If it is an open park, state statute says that we are not liable for anybody's injuries or get hurt or for anything. State statute says that. The moment I limit it, we're liable for everything. The moment I start charging, we're liable for everything. And so we're not going to be doing that. We're going to leave it open. It's a public park. Public parks are used by the public, regardless if you're in the city or not. How many of us have gone down and floated the Boise River? That's a public park, right? Going into the Ann Morrison Park or whatnot. I mean, it's all the same thing. We got to be careful. Some of the other challenges we've seen is we've had, I don't know if it was you or somebody that went down to Eagle Island. Eagle Island's been closed for a couple years when they're doing the renovations, right? Well, they still don't have the volume of people, I don't think, going back into that park yet, you know, because they discovered this one. It's just a matter of swimmer's itch coming in and maybe they're going to go down the street a little bit. I don't know, right? But it's been nice. It's been kind of a blessing to see fewer people down there utilizing this park right now, right? It's healthier for the park and for everybody involved. You'll see Bob's team is out there working their tails off right now. You're going to see them fertilizing. Today, I think they aerated. Did they aerate today? They're aerating and stuff out there today. A lot of it got compacted with the volume of people that are on there. You can see the grass is struggling. And you'll see them start seeding it more this winter or this fall, like overseeding it and stuff like that to try to get some of the grasses to grow back in. There is some work that needs to be done. On the dock, you can see we put the monkey bars in on the dock for the kids to kind of spread them out a little bit. There's a platform that's going to go on top that has more diving off of each side where the monkey bars are. So you're going to see some different work and stuff like that for the kids here locally there. So
And it's a honeymoon phase, right? It's the new attractive thing, right? It's always going to be there. Like we're always going to have people there, but it's going to die off. And we're
It'll
just
slow
asking
down.
for people. Yeah, it'll slow down. Like it's amazing. Sooner or later, it will die off. I promise you.
And I don't know why this triggered in my mind. I can't think of anything else I was going to talk about, but this came up. But when you're walking on the Riverwalk, guys, after we have a big storm, be careful because we can't take all the trees down. There may be some trees that look bad. Just reach out to the city through our info thing and they can get it out there to go take a look at that tree and possibly remove it if we need to. They removed a lot of trees. These guys, our staff worked their tails off on getting those trees out. And I do want to thank the citizens of Star publicly too for going out and helping neighbors. It was incredible to see how many people actually went out and helped their neighbors when the trees fell down and help them cut them up and stuff like that and haul them off. So that's a great thing about our community out there. So, and we didn't have any injuries. We had a power line injury over here, but we didn't have any injuries, right? So, all right. Any other questions or anything? You got one more? Oh, okay, good. I was going to say, my wife would love me to go home. It's her birthday today, so I'm supposed to take her to dinner. So it'd be awesome if we get out of here a little early. I'm okay with that too today. So
That's not what
thank
she
you.
told me.
What?
Her birthday present is for me to keep you here.
Oh, is it?